Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so welcome to community care class. So this is community care class. We talk about taking care of community and what that looks like. We do a check-in to see how our community is doing. I feel a little sensitive today. I feel a little overwhelmed with some of the things that are happening in the world. And so I just want to name that. And you may be too, you may not be. You might have no idea what I'm talking about. But what I want to do today, which I feel like I always do in this community care class, for sure, sometimes more obviously than others, is really specific trauma-informed sequencing that helps us get grounded and stay in our bodies. But I want to give you a resource today too. Some of you may, I brought up his name last week, and some of you may have heard me talk about him before, but I recently got his book. In the past, I've only listened to his talks and things like that. I recently got his book, and it is just, it's right up my alley, and it's so in line with the work that we do in this community care class. So this book, and what I'm going to teach from this book today, I'm going to teach a specific exercise from this book today, which again, I think everybody in here is going to feel like, oh, this feels familiar. We've done this before, but I want to use his language. This book is called My Grandmother's Hands. And I'll put it in the chat box before we end. It's called My Grandmother's Hands, Racialized Trauma and the Pathway to Mending Our Hearts and Bodies by Resmaa Menakem. Resmaa Menakem. He is a Black man. He is a trauma specialist. He's a social worker. And in this book, he specifically addresses the body, right? And that everything we experience through this life that we experience in this body and lives in our body, the memory of our ancestors, the memories of yesterday, the memories of a moment ago. And then he talks about and breaks down different practices for different folks. So there are practices in here for Black bodies, there are practices in here for white bodies. And then there are practices in here for what he calls blue bodies, which is for anybody in the police force or armed services, and speaks to the different types of traumas that live in there. And so I just wanted to kind of name that because some of you have heard me talk about him before, and it's really specific to, really specific, and I feel absolutely necessary for where we are as a country and the work that we all need to do. And it's appropriate for this class, this community care class, right? Because of the conversations we have and the way that we're using the yoga practice as a tool to get in our body. Right? Because feelings live in our body. And if things get stuck, repressed, oppressed, ignored in the body, they become tension, disease. Trauma is compounded time after time after time, right? And so we have to learn how to feel and how to move through these sensations to be able to get to the healing work that is necessary as individuals and a collective society. I also think it's important to name that, let me take a breath. So much of the yoga practice is teaching us about our interconnectedness, right? This is everybody's fight. This affects all of us, right? And so to just be really curious about and truthful and honest about the times where the voice shows up and says, not me, not mine, or there's not a racist bone in X, Y, and Z's body, right? These are systems and structures that live in and affect all of us, and it's all of our fights. And I say that with just my own humanity and errors and challenges and mistakes, but also the willingness and the wanting, the desire for all of us to step into this work so we can stop seeing and experiencing news stories like we experienced yesterday. So please check in with your friends of color and see how they're doing today. Just say hi. Just say, I'm thinking about you. Just ask them if they need anything. Because I cannot imagine. I'll never be able to imagine the feelings that that folks of color have to experience every day. But again, I say this from the depths of my heart. This is all of our work to do. This is all of our work to do. And we are so lucky and privileged to be able to have access to a practice like yoga, to embody it, to move through it, to learn the skills of being able to sit with discomfort and tension and know that we can do this, and we can get resourced and have the skills to do this type of work. Okay, I'm going to take another breath. And I just want to pause before we get into practice to see if anybody wants to share anything or add anything to that. And then I want you to check in like right now. How does this feel in your body? Notice the sensation you're experiencing, right? Like I have heat coming up the back of my neck. You heard my voice shake. How does this make you feel? This is really, really important to tap into this. It may be uncomfortable. You might be avoiding it. Some people might have left class already. Yeah. So take a seat, or you can lie down. If you were about to say something or speak or write something, please continue to do that. And take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And I'm going to go right into one of Resmaa's teachings. I'm just going to read word for word. Sit comfortably. Sit comfortably. Nicole, I see that. Take a few breaths. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Anne. Take a few breaths. Let your body breathe. That's my words, not Resmaa's. Let your body breathe. Still my words for a moment. Just notice what you feel right now. Sensation, feeling, emotion, heat, shutdownness, lethargy, anger. And take another deep breath. Okay, then here's the practice. I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. I ask you to open your eyes. Turn your head and slowly look around in all directions, especially behind you. Orient yourself in your space, in your surrounding space. If you're indoors, notice the height of the ceiling. Notice the height and the color of each wall. If you're outside, take note of any boundaries, such as a footpath or a fence, the edge of a clearing, or a body of water. Wherever you are, notice any plant life or animal life nearby. Note what sounds you hear. Any smells that fill the air. Any warmth or coolness, and any colors that stand out for you. And then once you're done scanning your environment, face forward once again and return your attention to your body. So if you like to close your eyes, you can close your eyes or you can keep them open. But return your attention to your body. Sense your feet on the ground, or how your butt rests on your seat or your heels or whatever you're sitting upon. Now notice any other sensations in your body, including the bend in your knees, your spine, and whether it's straight or curved, a breeze in your hair, your belly and any tension you might be holding there, and your chest expanding and shrinking with each cycle of breath. Notice what your body experiences inside your clothing. Pay attention to where your body touches your socks or your leggings or your shirt or blouse or tank top, or if you're in pants or a skirt or a dress, just notice those contact points. And then starting at the top of your head, bring your attention slowly down through your body. Slowly down, noticing each sensation as your attention passes through it. Warmth, coolness. Some areas might feel relaxed or tight. Softness, pressure, energy, or numbness. And then take another deep breath in and out. And then flutter your eyes open. And notice now. You can look around your space again if you want. But notice now. Whatever you notice now, in your surrounding, in your body, in your breath. Come back to facing forward. Let's stretch the arms up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. Keep your arms up there. Exhale completely. Add another deep breath in. And as you exhale, place the hands together in front of the heart or on the body in any meaningful way. We ask that our time on our mats, our time with ourselves and our times with each other is an opportunity for healing to occur, mind, body, and spirit, for ourselves, each other, our families, our community, our country, the world, and the planet as a whole. May we know peace. on the inside and on the out. And may we have the courage and the wherewithal to do the work necessary, internally and externally, to move through and break down anything that stands in the way, and that peace and justice for all. Release the hands, open the eyes, and let's come onto all fours, please. Tabletop position.